3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Anchors Away. My name is Nate, joined by my dad, Kevin. And, some interesting things today to talk about in the Seattle sports world. And we'll definitely dive into that here. But, it's been a few days. It's almost the end of the week. How are things going? How's life treating you right now?
Pretty good. Let's see here. After the getting past the shock of a birthday from yourself, doing pretty good. The weather's nice, so just kind of hanging out and just looking forward to the weekend.
Sounds good.
How about yourself, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. Like you said, birthday yesterday or 2 days ago when this comes out. Worked, did the, it's not really fun birthdays anymore where you skip school or work and you go spend a day doing stuff. But overall, not a bad day. Definitely a good fun time yesterday. I'm going to the Bats game, and then we'll be going back again this Sunday with you. Fun thing, Mike Cameron's kid did play Daz. He's going to be on the AAA team. So
right on.
We'll see him, and then Aristides Aquino. Again, that's Reds player, but he's down.
Right.
And then Riley Green, the Tigers' top prospect, is going to be on that AAA team. Well, besides Spencer Torkelson, their number 2 prospect is going to be on AAA currently too. So definitely some good players to watch. And then of course, we saw Lloyd McClendon, former Mariner manager, who is now managing the Toledo Mud Hens. So lots of and then since we're talking about Taylor Motter, he's former Mariner who's on the Bats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there are
there's a lot of connections.
There's a lot of Seattle connections this week between Louisville and Toledo. So kind of fun and interesting things there with Cincinnati, Seattle, all that stuff. But the big news of today and for every NFL team in the country is the schedule was released. So we definitely have to go into that and kind of talk about the thoughts. But like always, I always have the little fun fact question for you of the episode. So it might be easy, might be a little bit tricky.
Never know.
But like I said, the schedule came out today, so we're doing a schedule question for you. When was the last time the Seahawks lost the opening day kickoff? I don't know what it's called in the NFL.
Opening day, or I guess
NFL kickoff, whatever it is.
The first game.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Was it this decade?
Yeah.
So 20?
No. Oh, yeah, I guess technically not this decade. Not this decade, technically. You're right. It would have been last decade, technically.
Last decade. 2015.
2018. Last time they lost. So not too crazy. But do you know who they played?
In 2018?
Yeah.
Jeez, no, I don't know who they started out with that year.
They would have played the Denver Broncos.
Well, there. I guess 2018 won't be the last time we lost the first game of the season.
Yep.
Call it 2022.
At that point, good old Case Keenum was the Denver quarterback. Emmanuel Sanders was still there. Darius Thomas.
Case Keenum beat us. Oh, boy.
He went 25 for 39, 329 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Well, that sounds like a Russell Wilson kind of day.
Yep. He also threw 3 picks, though, so kind of hit or miss there. But
yeah.
So kind of a interesting little.
That's interesting.
Now Denver's going to come here, and that was the last time we lost a home opener. So, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about the schedule. That's kind of the talk of the town, and everything else going on right now is and if you're watching the YouTube video, we do have the schedule up for you to watch it or kind of just look at if you don't know it at this point. But obviously week 1 is the biggest game on the schedule. If we're being realistic, we're not expecting a playoff hunt. Like, this kind of going to be our little mini Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah. Russell Wilson returns to Seattle on Monday Night Football. What's the initial reaction on that?
It's going to be a loss. I just don't see any other way around it. Unfortunately, I don't know if Seattle will have all their guns all in place to be able to cohesively march forward, because they don't have a quarterback in place during the offseason right yet. We got three-headed monster and possibly a 5-headed monster right now. Russell's doing what Russell does in the offseason. So, and he's definitely going to be jacked up. He's going to be hyped. And I guarantee you, with an entire offseason, he knows how to play us. We're going to be a slow starter. Yeah, he's going to take it to us. I don't see a win out of that one. Sorry, but I don't. Yeah,
I mean, I think that's fair. I don't think people would really expect for Seattle to win that one, if you're being realistic.
Right.
You never know what happens, and he gets hurt, or Seattle just is on a tear of their own, and like, no, Russ isn't going to beat us today. Could happen, but yeah, I would agree. Probably not going to get the W there. And it's really going to be interesting with Russ and Denver's offense too. Like, do they really do they just let him throw 50 times a game like he wants? Or do they reel it back and it's like, man, we actually want to play action and kind of do what we did, what you had to do in Seattle?
It'll be real interesting with Russ.
So eventually, Denver's going to run out of the locker room, and number 3 is going to be orange and white. What kind of reaction do you I mean, there's part of me that thinks they're going to get the Alex Rodriguez reaction for Russ, where, it's not money because he left, but other reasons. Right. And I could see it, my guess is it's Seattle. They'll probably cheer for him, but I'd almost
take him
want
to
to
two Super Bowls. But,
but the second one, he broke up the team.
Yeah, he did.
They were on the verge of a dynasty, and because they wanted to make him the hero, everything fell apart at that point.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. It'll probably be a little of both.
Yeah.
Just knowing how Seattle is, they're tolerant.
Yeah.
So there'll be those who will cheer, and there'll be those who will boo, and
I think
we'll get over it. And
you'll definitely have like the RW3 fanboys and the everyone who was in love with him, who weren't really Seahawk fans until he showed up. And then you'll have the ones that like you said, are just upset that he left, even though it was for the best. Like I mean, like you said, previously a couple times, like, he's going to want $50 million guaranteed every year. Like, it's just no one's going to win with that contract with their quarterback. Good riddance on that point. But it's going to be interesting to see that.
It will be.
At least the Hawks defense should be fully healthy at that point. We'll get a good chance to see Kobe Bryant playing. Maybe Tariq Woolen will be in. Hopefully the new defensive coordinator lets Jamal stay in the box and let Quandre play, free safety.
Exactly.
Or free. I mean, he is a free, but like center field, just let him roam out.
Yep, just let him
15
run.
yards back. And then the Jordan Brooks, and then the Chargers linebacker they picked up as well.
The Owusa or something.
Yeah, like that? the fast guy. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well, and then they have Mafe as well now.
Mafe.
Like they say, it goes back to 2010 when it was a very young team with a few veterans sprinkled in.
Yeah.
That's what it's looking like. So it's going to be athleticism, speed, going back to what worked before. So I think that's why they're a little charged up at Seahawks headquarters too.
Yeah, I definitely do like the 3-4 defense with what they decided to do. Like you said, speed on the outsides, on the inside, just kind of get some big run stuffing type linemen and let your linebackers kind of do the heavy lifting in the sense, with the pass and everything. It's going to be very interesting, that game. But obviously kind of going through the schedule the rest of the way, are there any other games that kind of stick out to you, like kind of matchup wise, that just interesting games?
Well, certainly, we get to play the AFC West. So just about all of those games I'm looking forward to. not only because of we used to be the AFC West,
right?
But it's the quarterback.
It's.
I mean, it's you got Carr, you got Herbert, you got Mahomes, and you got Wilson. I mean, it's going to be great to see what our young defense can do against those guys.
Yeah, that definitely is a good point. Not only you got, like you said, the NFC West with possibly Jimmy G if he's healthy, or Trey Lance, Kyler, right. And then Stafford. But yeah, like you said, you almost get the even harder quarterback division in the AFC West, and
right.
And on top of that, all their defenses are pretty stacked. So you're going to see how good our new offensive linemen are in Cross.
Real quick,
Lucas, is it Abe Lucas? Is that
his
name? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they're going to have to be dealing with Bradley Chubb and Randy Gregory right off the bat. And then Khalil Mack and Nick Bosa against the Chargers. Max Crosby, Chandler Jones against the Raiders. Like, it's just Chris Jones against the Chiefs. Like, this is going to be a really interesting season overall for the Seahawks. Like you said, it's a bunch of young guys, a couple veterans mixed in, but they're going to get a lot of development. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But, on the offensive line, the nice thing is we do have Damian Lewis and Gabe Jackson, the guards.
Mm-hmm.
Solid guards. They'll be able to help our tackles, I think, because those, for guards, they're athletic as well as for the size of those two guys. So feeling good. I still want to see a center, but
that's the interesting. Like, what are we going to do at center? I feel like there's no one really.
Well, I guess what is it? Blythe from Kansas City.
Oh, Austin Blythe. Yeah. Played in the Rams for a little bit, and then played with the like you said, the Chiefs, and then now here. So I guess he'd probably be our center at the moment. They have Kyle Fuller on ESPN listed as the starting center. I would probably go Blythe over him.
Yeah. If Blythe is healthy, I'd probably go with Blythe. But
experience has kind of moved around. A little bit older, but kind of more of that experience, and just overall probably better lineman.
Yeah.
Right now they also have Jake Curran at right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. So he's interesting. Okay.
And Jake got about 5 games last year at right tackle. So spelling for Brandon Shell. So he held his own. So it'll be interesting. That'll be a really good competition. I'm looking forward to that Pac-12 competition between Curran and Lucas. That'll be kind of fun.
And then they still got Stone Forsythe as well. So the big
we got some big boys
6'8",
on the tackles.
307. Yeah. And then there are some none of these games are gimmies anymore, but kind of some easier games on the schedule. They do have to go to Detroit, but if Detroit's like they were last year, that should be an okay win. I feel good about playing Atlanta at home. Especially if
they don't go to Detroit, do they?
Yeah, at Detroit, week 4, October 2nd,
week 4,
10 a.m.
Oh, maybe that's why it's not on my schedule.
Oh, yeah. So they're going to go to Detroit for week 4 right after they host Atlanta. So I feel okay about that one too. I kind of feel like after the first 4 weeks, 2-2 is probably realistic.
2-2, yeah.
And then at New Orleans, if it was at home, maybe, but going to New Orleans, it's not going to happen there.
Not going to happen.
The next probably win I'd see is like week 8 against New York at home. Then after that, maybe Carolina week 14, and
that might be the next one.
And then I'd probably end with the Jets at home.
And that's not even going to be a give me by then either.
No.
They had a heck of a draft.
Yeah, they really did. They definitely improved.
Their 4 first-rounders are all starters.
Yeah.
So, that was a serious upgrade the Jets have. That's why, either they're going to be the usual Jets by that time, which I would then say we have to win. But if they're cooking at that point, I don't know. So it's not, 6 wins maybe?
Yeah. If we just kind of go through this real quick, so we'll just I got the mouse on the screen here now. Loss against Denver, loss against San Francisco. I'll give them a win against Atlanta, win at Detroit. So that's 2-2. We're going to go loss at New Orleans, loss. Right. I think every NFC West game is going to be a loss unless we get lucky. So
unless we get lucky, yeah.
Week 6 is going to be a lose. So we're 2-4 after week 6. Chargers are probably going to win. Let's be real about that. 2-7, 2-5. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I'll give us a win against New York. 3-5, 3-6. Maybe Germany makes it weird and they get a win, but I doubt it. So we're probably going to lose.
If Brady's still playing, no, we don't got.
Yeah, I mean, lose against the Raiders, especially if Derek Carr is playing what he could. We'll go a win against Carolina, a win against the Jets. Yeah, 6 wins, like we were saying before. I think that's realistic. I think it's also kind of what Seattle fans probably would expect going into the year. And honestly, though, even if we had Russ, I don't know how much better they would do. Maybe 8 wins?
I don't either because we wouldn't have had the draft we had.
Yeah, not even close.
Not even close. And who would still be here? I don't know. Because could we have picked up? Could we have signed Quandre Diggs? Could we have signed some of the other guys? I mean, we picked up some other free agents along the way too. So it could have been a totally different dynamic, and 6 wins might have been a stretch even with Russell here. So maybe this was a good time to, all things considered.
Yeah. I think the unfortunate thing here is we do kind of have some games that could be wins, and it puts us out of that draft spot to get one of the top guys in next year's quarterback draft.
Right.
Which there's definitely a lot. I mean, they're all the big organizations, news outlets have done their way too early mock drafts. But there's a lot of quarterbacks. So maybe it doesn't screw us too bad. I mean, it's not going to be the Bryce Young, CJ Stroud.
Right.
But at 6 wins, maybe Will Levis from Kentucky becomes an option he played out of his mind last year.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, wait till we see this year too. So
yeah, I mean he's poised to have another very good year. Some mock drafts have him going number 2, which I don't think is realistic, but top 10 is probably close. And then we'll see what DJ out of Clemson does because he had a bad year last year, right? But he also might pick it up, and so there's definitely options. But like I said, at 6 wins, we're probably out of the sweepstakes for Bryce or CJ.
Right.
And realistically, I mean, does Ohio State and Bama really produce good quarterbacks? When was the last elite Ohio State or Bama quarterback? And I'm going to exclude.
Can't say Tua.
No, I'm going to exclude Mac Jones also because he's done 1 year.
Right. And then Fields hasn't
done anything.
Set the world on fire.
I mean, RIP to Dwayne Haskins, but he wasn't anything in the NFL.
No, yeah.
I mean, Jalen Hurts has done okay, but he's not elite or Pro Bowl.
Right. You just don't. You don't think of quarterback. You don't think of Alabama and Ohio State as quarterback factories, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's a guy that I'm completely spacing on, but I don't know who it would be.
I'm sure there's a couple, but it's obviously not the quarterback factories that are out there like Penn State or UCLA or Texas or any of those places.
I mean, when you just Google search NFL Ohio State quarterbacks, you have Troy Smith, Terrell Pryor, Braxton Miller. I mean, those are the first names that pop up. So, I mean, we'll see if anyone pops up. I mean, again, Bart Starr, but that was years ago.
Yeah, that's beginning AFL days. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, they're just really. Maybe it's not the worst thing to be in that sweepstake of the Bryce and CJ lottery next year.
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe it is the other not seen or sexy picks. The names. Because that's what Seattle did.
Mm-hmm.
That's why their draft was so good.
Exactly. And throughout the year too, there's going to be some guys that go off, play really well.
Absolutely,
it's bound to happen. The names that we don't know right now.
Right.
Yeah, the other Ohio State quarterback, Cardale Jones.
Okay.
He 96 yards and an interception. That's what he did. So
there you go.
It is kind
cup of coffee and a handshake.
It's interesting to look at that because Alabama and Ohio State, they're, as of recently, they're always in the playoff mix for the college football playoff. They always have really good college quarterbacks, but they don't transition to the NFL.
But who does transition to the NFL from those two teams?
Receivers, pretty much everything else, really.
the trenches, and then the outside cornerbacks and receivers.
Yep.
So defense, yep. Okay, there we go. And the receivers, well, they obviously are making that quarterback look really great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's you're throwing to what, the top 10 receivers in the country?
Yeah. Yeah, every single time.
Makes it a lot easier to, maybe you
can throw the ball up there and just go get it, guys.
Yep. And they'll do it because they're so much better.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. That's a great point and a unique way of looking at those two. Yeah, nice breakdown. No, that's wow. Yeah, I like that.
And even just going back, so I have the Ohio State, the best Ohio State quarterback in the NFL, at least based on this website, was Mike Tomczak, and he went 42 and 31. Oh, wow,
that's going way back when.
That is the only quarterback out of Ohio State that had a winning record.
Okay, that's interesting. That is very interesting.
I'm kind of curious now because I did have the same site for Alabama. I'm curious what theirs are. Excluding Mac Jones because, he had a good year. Bart Starr, Joe Namath. That's a good name.
Yeah. Super Bowl III. That's still a long time ago.
Ken Stabler.
Okay. Oakland still early.
And that was the last one.
That's the last one. Okay.
Pretty much.
That's 50 years.
I mean, Richard Todd is there. He threw for a lot of yards, but losing record and a lot of interceptions.
50 years.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So it's almost like, as you say Ohio State and Alabama are at the top.
Yeah.
With quarterbacks that are good college quarterbacks, but they don't translate necessarily. Seattle's kind of setting their team up the same way. We're going to have all these great positions, but the quarterback's just going to be somebody to manage the game.
That's what they did in 2013.
Exactly. So, it might not be this year, but next year, look out.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely this year is not going to be the year that we're going to the Super Bowl, fighting for playoffs. Let's just get a good high pick for one of these quarterbacks and let him just run some play action, hand the ball off to Kenneth Walker in the backfield. We'll, toss to DK and Tyler. We'll be fine. The defense will be another year stacked. And
another year under Waldron's offense. And so then we're off and running.
Yep.
And then not this year, but the next year. Well, guess what happens after that? The Rams are
they're going to implode
cap
eventually.
Casualties. Yeah. San Francisco cap casualties. Arizona is at the cap casualties.
Yeah.
So Seattle's,
they're setting up
this
real
year,
nice.
Let's just play, have fun. Don't, and then 23 is where you're looking.
Yep. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay this year. Go in with that. Hey, if we win more than 6, hallelujah. But, we're playing for next year. So, yeah.
All right. Last question on the schedule in this year. If sports betting was legal in Kentucky and the over-under was 6.5 wins for Seattle, would you bet over or under?
Under.
Yep, same. I think that's a safe bet, especially with who they play in the home and away schedule too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. It just, unless something totally just is so out there that every other team just has a crumbling situation, injuries or whatever. COVID all of a sudden wipes out half of the league. Who
exactly.
knows?
It could happen.
Baseball games are being canceled right now because of COVID.
Yeah.
So who knows what can happen in the second half, but anything's possible. But as of right now on paper, just looking at things, I'd say 6.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. Yeah. All right, let's kind of move away from the Seahawks and, really not that much more to talk about. But the NHL entry-level draft lottery was on Tuesday, and unfortunately, Seattle fell from 3 to 4. Obviously, not that bad. Yeah,
that's the week Seattle has had. Let's just just call it what it is. It's been a bad week for Seattle sports.
Yeah. I think, that's a unfortunately good point. Again, it wasn't like they dropped from 3 to like 7 or 8. So
no,
one spot isn't the worst thing in the world, but it is.
At least they beat the minimum, which was the 5th pick. So
yeah,
at least we just didn't get the 5th pick.
Right. And there'd definitely be some guys there. It would have been nice to, get Shane Wright, the number 1 kid.
Oh yeah.
But like we said last week, there's players, maybe you get Morgan Geeky's brother at 4 and, you put them together or something. But so it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think the draft's in July for the entry level draft.
Right.
Then as we get closer to that, we'll kind of talk more of, prospects, players to watch, things like that.
Exactly.
And then the Sounders lost Wednesday to San Jose.
So much for that international or the big tournaments.
Exactly. I didn't get a chance to watch the highlights or anything, just kind of looked at the box score. I did talk to Marco, who was on a couple weeks ago. He mentioned that we really just played the backups, didn't really play starters in that. Is that kind of what you saw too? They were trying to play the Defiance and the academy players, giving them some shout outs for winning, but also to give some rest because we're going to be playing 2 games every week here for the rest of the month. So he needed to get those starters some rest time. Okay. And get them into the MLS. Yeah. Because they got an uphill climb in the MLS right now. Yeah. In terms of the US Open Cup, are they out of that at this point now? They are out. They were bounced out of the round of 32. Yeah. So okay. Done. I just wanted to just like Portland. Portland got bounced by LA. So okay. Well, that's good then. Northwest we're out as long as Portland's out. That's fine. Yeah. We're both out. Well, I mean, with that said, wow. Toronto, Tampa Bay, really good NHL playoff series right now as Tampa goes up 2-0. But with that said, that's kind of all that I had today. The big thing was the schedule and just kind of getting that initial reaction. Was there anything that you had that you wanted to add it on before we, jump ship tonight? Sure. Yeah. As far as, like I said, just a rough week. The Storm got blown out by Phoenix last night. Yeah. They get revenge though Saturday. Phoenix got to come up here, so maybe we can flip the tide on them. And hey, since we do like to talk about Seattle pro sports, I want to give a shout out to the Seawolves of the Rugby League and the news that the Rugby World Cup is coming in. 2031 and 33, I think it is, or 20. Something like that. When are they getting those? Yeah, something like that. But they're still on Mom's Day. They broke some records, Major League Rugby records. Oh, okay. 74-7 was the score, and they set 3 MLR records. The first was for a highest point scored in a single match, 74. Wow. The most tries scored in a single match, which was 11, and the largest score margin is 67-point spread. All records in the Major League Rugby League right now. Wow. Still in the hunt. There's 3 matches left, only 1 at Starfire. The last match on June 5th is going to be against the LA Giltinis. Sorry. Okay, that's a name. And that will probably be for a potential spot in the playoffs. So a lot riding in these last 3 games. So cool. Good for them. That's setting those kind of records like that's it's awesome. Cool. Yeah. So they're in it. They're kind of hanging on there. So I just thought I'd give a shout out to another pro sports team out of Seattle that definitely takes some looking at, and kind of really cool about rugby. It's kind of exciting that the World Cup is coming to the States, and what a great team to have in the Seawolves, who are definitely they've won the championship, and so they definitely have it rocking and rolling down there at Starfire right now. So go get them, Seawolves, and let's finish out strong. Yeah, cool. Rugby's definitely one of those sports fun to watch. I just have no idea what's happening. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, they're all in the hole. Hey, and see the little white guy come out and go. Yep. Exactly. All right. Well, with that said, we'll definitely be back next week to kind of talk a little bit more about whatever's going on at Seattle sports. Hopefully the Mariners turn it around and we're not talking about them losing 12 in a row and everything that we thought would happen happened. But with that said, as everyone knows that is watching, we are on YouTube as well as the audio versions where you can find on major podcasting platforms. with that said, go ahead, subscribe, like, and let us know what you do or don't like about the show. With that said, though, we will see y'all next week, and thank you again for watching Anchors Away.